Hello, and welcome to ASFA's May webinar, ASFA Online Resources Overview and ASFA 2021 Virtual Platform Walkthrough. My name is Ernest, and I will be your facilitator as well as your second speaker for today. The format for today's webinar will be a little bit different. Dr. Nicole Aqui will present on the online resources for the first 15 minutes. Then we will take 5 minutes to answer questions pertaining to those resources. I will then present on the virtual platform for 15 minutes, and the remaining time will be for Q&A as well, and we will cover questions both for the platform as well as for the online resources. Feel free to post your written questions at any time using the chat box beside the slides. Please note today's webinar is being recorded. I'll now briefly introduce our speakers for today. Dr. Nicole Aqui is currently on the ASFA Board of Directors and is the chair of the ASFA Online Resources Subcommittee. I am Ernest, and I am the Senior Association Coordinator for ASFA, and I have been with ASFA since 2017. Dr. Aqui, you may begin your presentation.
All right, well, good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you are. As Ernest mentioned, my name is Nicole Aqui, and our purpose here in doing this different type of webinar than what we normally do is really to provide an overview of the content that's available on the ASFA website. We want you to take full advantage of all that ASFA has to offer, especially since these resources are included in your membership. So they're free, and who doesn't like free things, right? I want to especially acknowledge Ernest, who is really, I would say, my right-hand man and keeps me honest and organized, and we would not be able to do what we do in online resources without him. So I will get started. I hope all of you should be able to see my screen. So this is the ASFA website, and this is the splash page. So as soon as you get onto the website, this is what you should see. And what I'm basically going to do is go from left to right and cover a lot of the things here that you may not be aware of. I'll start with about ASFA. So you can see here you have governance, committee, strategic planning, our policies, and everything. So this is really where the information is about the organization. I'm going to just very briefly touch on governance. As Ernest mentioned, I'm on the board of directors. So we have the listing of the board of directors here. It's important for you to know who they are. So if you have questions about certain topics, your board is really here to serve the membership. So feel free to reach out to any of us. Membership is something that you probably are all familiar with because that's where you want to join ASFA or where you go to renew your membership on an annual basis. However, there's also a referral program that you might not know about, and you can also search for other members. Now, what I'd like to spend some time on are the ASFA forums because I don't think knowledge of these forums is out there. So there are two areas. There's the general ASFA discussion forum. You can see there are lots of different topics. I recommend you can subscribe to, let's see, we have a question here about therapeutic plasma exchange. Now what you can do is you can subscribe to instant updates, which means that you would subscribe to any updates to this particular thread. You can also respond to this question. I'm going to go back out, but another thing that you can do, you can see it says unsubscribe for me because I've already subscribed, but you can subscribe here to instant updates for the entire forum. So if you want to know anytime somebody posts a question, a comment, then I suggest you subscribe to the forum as a whole. Again, there's lots of good information, lots of good discussion on here, and it's particularly helpful because apheresis is a pretty small community, and so to be able to ask questions of our peers in a really open and non-judgmental way is fantastic. So please take advantage of the ASFA discussion forum. All right, I'm going to go back out and show the Apheresis Journal Club. So we've done the Journal Club in lots of different ways. We used to do it as sort of a webinar format, but we found that doing it as a discussion forum seems to be a little bit better because people can respond when they have the time. And so here is where you'll find articles that are posted with some questions, and then you have the ability to go in and reply to those questions and really have a discussion about those articles. So that is the forums. I'm going to go now to education. So education, this area contains educational materials for members and non-members alike. One of the things I want to highlight here are patient info sheets. So these are information sheets that you can print out and supply to your patients. It's really meant, and they're written at the patient level. So I wanted to just give an example. There we go. So this is therapeutic plasma exchange, obviously, but we have a description of the procedure. We have why this might be done, description of venous access, how long it takes, some side effects, and then the number of procedures that are required, which, as we know, can vary widely. And then what I think is really useful for the patients are things like the important terms. So these are terms that are used throughout the sheet and will help patients understand it better. Another thing that can be very useful is things like what you should do to prepare. So we have these, go back out. You can see that we have these information resource sheets in a lot of different areas, and we're constantly updating them. So I encourage you to use them if you don't have your own materials for your patients. All right, and the other thing, so you can see the ASFA Journal Club is also listed here, but the other thing I wanted to talk on were webinars. Webinars, the ASFA webinars are included as part of your membership. If you are not a member of ASFA, then the webinars are $75 each. But hopefully everyone who's listening to this, I hope that you are all members. And if you're not members, certainly hope that you will join, because one of the major benefits of membership are the ASFA webinars that are completely free for members. And then you can see the pricing here. Let me go to, back to education. I'm going to go to our webinar schedule so you can see, the current webinar that we're doing right now, but then also the webinar that we had in March. And then you can watch, and then if you're a member, you can click on this and then you can actually watch them. And you can also go back. So you can go back and, last year, despite it being a pandemic, we had numerous webinars, and you can see many of them had to do with COVID-19. But you can go back, to, let's see, 2015, 2014. So, we have years of information on here. I will, obviously say with the caveat that some of this information may be a little bit outdated. Some of the older webinars may be a little bit outdated, but they are all there for your use as a member. Okay. And as I mentioned again, that the ASFA Journal Club is also listed under education. Now I want to go into resources. So we have tons of resources on this website. I wanted to call attention to COVID-19 connections. Obviously, that this is something new because the pandemic being new and all that, or I guess we're a year into it now. I really want to shout out to the COVID-19 task force members who have been busy collating relevant research papers, clinical guidelines, and regulatory notices so that they are in an easily accessible location for our members. So if you just, here are the members of the task force. But if you go down, these are all, various papers, as I said, clinical guidelines, just all sorts of information that has been kind of put in one place for you to have access to. We have things on blood centers and mobile apheresis centers, hospitals and universities, even the FDA. So, for all things COVID-19, this is like a one-stop shop place in order to access this information. All right. Of course, the ASFA guidelines, one of the most important things that ASFA puts out. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the QIA. And in this area, it provides really all the different routes that are available to eligibility. So if you have any questions about the QIA, everything is really out here available on the website. The reimbursement guide. So this is the 2020 reimbursement guide. The 2021 reimbursement guide will be released, I think, in the next month or two. But this is an incredibly useful document to assist in billing. So, billing is obviously important for all of us because we can't do what we do unless we get paid for it. And that reimbursement guide can just provide so much assistance if you have questions on billing, using the right codes and things like that. All right. Again, tons of other information available under resources. I'm going to move over, though, to meetings. So we have our 2021 annual meeting. I need to mention, obviously, that you can still register for the meeting, and you can still register for the apheresis review session refresh. The apheresis review session refresh, unlike in previous years, all of the content has been recorded, and that content will be available until June of next year. So you can purchase it now, and you have over a year to really look at that material, which is really fantastic. And as I mentioned, you can still register for the meeting. It's virtual. It starts next week. And I hope that you will all take advantage of that. The Career Center. So this is where jobs are posted. And I'm going to go here. And so you can do things like, if you're interested in a nurse, and you can put as much or as little information as you want. You search, and wow, you have listings for nursing positions in various areas. And you can see they're all over the country. And then finally, the online store. So ASFA has a number of publications. I'll go here, including the apheresis SOP manual and the Principles of Apheresis Technology, the 7th edition, which actually comes with a, just click on this here, because the 7th edition is really good. It comes with a companion book that allows you to do self-study. So for the price of $100, which is fantastic. Again, this is the member price because I'm logged in. Okay. And so really, I'm hoping that this was a quick but comprehensive overview of all the things that are available on the ASFA webpage. If there are things that aren't here that you would want to see, then please contact me. I'm happy to take suggestions. And really, we want you to get the most out of your membership. And the way to do that is to get involved in the organization. You can get involved through the ASFA forums, as I've shown you. You can also, I didn't click on this, but there are committees, and committee work is a fantastic way to get involved. It's a fantastic way to get to know the people in the organization. ASFA is small enough that you really can meet tons and tons of people, even though we're doing these things virtually. So if you were interested in the committee, you can see the committees listed. But more importantly, if you go all the way down, again, this is my information because I'm logged in. But you can, you simply fill this out. You say which committee you're interested in, upload your CV and submit it. And then this goes to the head office. The head office then distributes it to the committee chairs. All right, so join a committee, participate in the forums, and then attend the annual meeting. These are the ways to really get the most out of your membership. All right, that is the end of my presentation, and I am happy to take questions.
Thank you, Dr. Aqui. So we will now rest for about 5 minutes to answer questions related towards the online resources, so feel free to use that chat box beside the slides. And then after this Q&A, that is when I will present and go through the virtual platform walkthrough. Okay, so we have our first question, and I can assist with that. The question is, how do you post an open position? So I would presume that means, say you are an employer and you would like to post a position on our website. So in order to do so, you'll first need to have an ASFA profile, but of course, because you're registered for this webinar, you already have one. So then what you do is you go into the online store, and then there is an item called job postings. So just complete the steps. Thank you, Nicole, for showing them. So here it is, a career posting for 90 days. Purchase this item and you will receive instructions on how to post on our job board. And then we have a second question. I think, Dr. Aqui, would you be able to answer this? It says, hello. Oh, do you want me to read it, or would you?
Go ahead and read it.
Okay. It says, hello, are fellows eligible for committee memberships?
So yes, any member of ASFA is eligible for committee membership, with a few exceptions. So because of rules around CME, there are some committees that are involved in creation of CME content. And for those committees, people who, unfortunately, people who work for industry are not eligible for those, but all the other committees are open to everyone. So absolutely, fellows are eligible for committee membership, and we would love to have you.
So we'll just park for another 30 seconds, and if we don't receive any questions, we'll move on to the virtual platform walkthrough.
Okay, I see this as probably not a question, but a suggestion to have institutional membership to benefit the whole A3 system. So levels of membership, I'll take that back to the board and have that as an item for discussion. Thank you for that suggestion.
Okay, so those are all the questions for now. We will now change presenters, and then any question, you can feel free to continue entering in questions. We will answer the rest of the questions after the walkthrough. All right, so welcome to the virtual platform walkthrough. So everyone will be getting access to this platform on Monday, May the 10th. For those who attended the virtual platform last year, please note that this is a different platform. We've opted for this vendor because it provides a better user experience. So this particular section of the webinar will be cut out and also be distributed to our delegates. So if you miss anything that I'm about to say, there will be a number of opportunities to rewatch this video. And as a quick overview of what we'll be talking about, I will be going through a majority of the buttons you will be using at the conference, with highlights going to networking. So be it with networking with speakers, with exhibitors, with each other, as well as how to navigate through the exhibitor lounge, so which is the same as our breakfast with the experts at the in-person conferences, as well as we will be mentioning a new game that we have, that this is the first time. Well, last year we did not have a game in the virtual platform, but this year we do, so I will be addressing that as well. So to start things off, on Monday, you will receive an email, and the individual it's from will be called ASFA 2021 Annual Meeting. The subject line would read something along the lines of access to the virtual platform. In this email, we will receive your username, which is most likely your email address. You'll receive your password, and you will receive a link to this particular platform. So once you've entered in your login information, you will then join us here in the lobby. And so to quickly show you around the lobby, here in the middle, where my cursor is at, mouse cursor is at, this is our welcome video. It will play automatically when you come on, and I do encourage you watch this video if you have not already. This was the video that was distributed as we were promoting the conference for the past few months. It includes welcome addresses from our president, our Antonia, as well as our organizing committee chair, Dr. Walter Lins. It also includes clips from our various different organizing committee members who will provide a quick program overview as well. So if you're looking for a great way to start, watching the video would be highly recommended. Underneath the welcome video is our announcement area. Currently it doesn't make a lot of sense right now because you're already in the platform. You don't need to register again, but this is just a quick demonstration of where the announcements will be. So when announcements are made, they will come in the form of a push notification. There will be a number of places that it will show up, which I'll show you, but this is for if you've missed any and you want to look through the announcements that have been made, right here in the lobby underneath the welcome video is where you will find them. So next up, I'm going to show you here on this right-hand side. So currently, I have selected the social wall, which is why we've got the social feed. So quite simply, this feed will show tweets from Facebook and Twitter, and they will pertain to the ASFA accounts. And more importantly, they will pertain to the hashtag ASFA 2021. So if you would like to see any posts here, and if they're relevant to the conference, make sure to use the hashtag ASFA 2021, and they will show on the social media platform as well as on this wall. But actually, when you first come into the platform, what you'll actually see instead is the event feed. And right now, the event feed only has one feature, but a very fun feature, and that is the photo booth. So be sure to click on that, because what happens is it will open up a virtual background. So if your webcam is on, you will see yourself in front of this background. I currently have my webcam off, so it's just the background. But be sure to click this green take photo picture, and then it will be uploaded onto the event feed. And we would love to see all of your faces, so please be sure to come in and take a picture of yourself. Now, scooting down, I'll talk about this private chats section. So this is going to appear on all of your pages. And here you will find all the chats that you have already. This is not the place where you start a conversation. I will mention how you can do that later, but this is where you will find any conversation you have already started. So here, for example, you'll see I have a message from Carla from about 30 minutes ago saying good morning. And so I can then click in there and continue the conversation with her. So whereas this is a private chat, on the right-hand side here is the public chat. So this chat will be very similar in the sessions room as well as in the exhibit hall. Quite simply, any chat messages will appear chronologically from top to bottom, and they will appear here. And in order to do so in order to type in your own message, you just click here where it says chat now. You can also use some emojis over here where, there we go, there are a couple of options you can use. And if you're ever curious as to who else is with you, say for example in the lobby, you can click on this person's icon. And currently I'm all alone, but I'm sure next week I'll have a lot more people joining me. Before I move on to the next section of the walkthrough, I want to also highlight two more things up here. Firstly is this translations button. So when you click on it, you can select other languages. So if English is not your first language, you have a preference over other languages, this is where you can change. I do want to note though, this button, what it changes is some key generic items such as the menu buttons and such as certain instructions. But in terms of the title of the sessions as well as the session descriptions, all of them will remain in English because that was how the speakers had provided them. And lastly is the bell icon. So the bell icon is just like a lot of our other platforms that we're familiar with. This is where our notifications comes out. So as I mentioned, if there were any push notifications, any announcements, they will all appear here. And if someone were to start a chat with you, you would also find the chat message here. So you've got new for those that you have not seen, and then you've got red for those that have actually that you've already looked at. So moving on, I will now move to the Sessions tab. And so I'm just going to let it load. But as I do that, I'll mention there are two types of sessions this year. We have a mix of live sessions as well as on-demand sessions. Oh, and if you see any pop-up messages, be sure to accept them so they can appear. And so for example, here I've got an on-demand session and we actually have tags for them already. So an on-demand session, you can view them as soon as you enter the platform. There'll be this video icon. You can hit play, you can hit pause, you'll also have a slider to move through the video, so you can always, if you have left and then come back and you want to continue, you're free to do so for the on-demand videos. Underneath, you'll find the speakers section. Most of the speakers provided their biography, and so if you want to read their biography, just click on the button, learn more. And so here we go. And then underneath that is the description section, and this is ultimately their presentation summary. And so again, here on the right-hand side, we've got the chat box, but this time around, because you're in a specific session, this chat is only for those in this session room. So for all of our on-demand sessions, we've kindly asked our on-demand speakers to come on at least once per conference day, just so that if you have any questions for them, they will return their answers either here, maybe through a private chat message if that was the way you chose to speak with them. I'll also like to mention how you can actually search for sessions. So currently, these sessions here on the left-hand side are listed chronologically. So on demand being on top, and then afterwards are the actual sessions. So as you can see, for example, the expert lounges, which start on Wednesday. Here you'll see the times, opening remarks, etc., etc. You can also use the search feature here, this tiny search bar. You can either type the name of the speaker or you can type the name of the presentation and they will appear. As well, you can use our filter system. So as you can see, actually before I click onto that, you can see some of these sessions have tags. So if you were to go to filters, you can actually use these tags. These tags are called track here. And so you can look at a number of these, including all three of the expert lounges, or if there were a specific track that you were looking for, such as on ECP, such as on cellular therapy, you'll be able to find it here. As well, you can also find the dates. You can ignore May 7th, that will disappear. The May 10th will be where all of our on-demand sessions are going to be located. And as you can see, from 12th to 15th are all the sessions for our conference days. And then underneath, you can also search by speakers if you like. There will be other methods for you to search by speakers as well. And then going to the very top, I want to also show you this personal schedule. So for people who like to plan their day in advance ahead of the 12th, or if they would like to favorite sessions that they want to attend, this is the place to do so. And so in order to add sessions into your personal calendar, all you have to do is click on the plus symbol right here on the top left of each of these sessions. So I'm just randomly going through, say for example, this one, I'm going to click on it, converting it from a plus to a check mark, and then using the filter personal schedule, and now you'll see that the session I just selected, along with a few others that I previously selected, are now appearing in the personal schedule. Okay, so moving on is the speakers tab. So this is a list of all of our speakers for the conference. If you were to click on one of them, for example, I'm going to click on Andrew today, and you will see their biography. And underneath, if they have, especially if they have multiple sessions, you'll be able to find all the sessions that they are participating. So we see here, Andrew has 2 sessions that he will be speaking at. And this is the first one of the ways you can start a private conversation. Right here, just click on Start Chat. So you've got to click it, and you also have to enter a message. If you leave the message blank and then you click Start Chat, you will receive an error message right here telling you that you have to do so. And so be sure to type in a message, and then once you do, Andrew will receive a message in his private chat as well as in his notification. And that will be the same for you when you receive them as well. And as for the search bar, you can feel free to type in their names in order to find them. I'll now move on to the exhibit hall. So definitely, if you have when there are breaks in the program, and if you have time in between sessions, please come and visit our exhibit hall, because our lovely sponsors, if they had not sponsored us, we would not be able to make this conference, especially this year. And so here, for example, here on the right-hand side, you will see the virtual exhibit hall. On the day of, actually, I understand there are going to be virtual avatars standing all around the exhibit hall. And so this will be a little cute little way to see how many people are here. And so you can choose to either click on the booth or click on the actual names of the sponsors. So right now, I'm just going to click on Alexion just because they start with an A, and it's going to load. There we go. And so here we are, we've got the familiar chat. So you can feel free to use this chat on the right-hand side to start a conversation with them. You can also click on this button, request information, and they will be able to, and a representative will be able to contact you. You can also use join live, which is our webcam option. So it is a webcam room. So if no one else is in the room, and if you join, then you will be the only one. So you will want to, a little bit of coordination will be required. For example, if the representative had noted for you to do a video chat, then that's when the 2 of you should join on and use this feature. You can also contact the sponsor through a number of ways here, as well as if you want to speak with a specific representative, here's where you can do so. You can click Start Chat, and this also starts a private chat message. A neat feature that this platform has is if the individual is online, their icon will have a green circle. Green circle around it, so you know they are online. And underneath here, this particular vendor has attachments that you can download, so just click on that. I believe for sponsors, you will receive a pop-up box because you are ultimately requesting information, so just quickly fill it out, and then you'll be able to open up these documents. And then underneath, you'll see their biography, and some vendors will also have videos that you can watch as well. So I'll move on to the posters. The posters have a very similar feel to the exhibit hall because in the sense that you've got the chat on the right-hand side. And for example, I'm gonna pick on poster 2 this time round. You will see the name of the poster presenter, and you can start that private chat, as well as you can download their poster using that same icon just as you would at the exhibit hall. So this button is the one to look for, the down arrow with a bar. So you just click on that and you'll be able to download the poster. And so I'm just going to quickly do that. Here we go. So now you see one of these posters. And underneath that is the abstract that the individual presented. And actually right here, we have a gamification code. I will mention the gamification code in about 2 minutes or so, so hang in tight. But before I mention the gamification, I want to mention one more way of communicating with people, and that is ultimately the networking tab. So the networking tab, this would be the place this would be our directory for all of our attendees. So this would include speakers, this would include exhibitors and poster presenters. And so if you have colleagues or if you have friends in ASFA that you want to connect over, this is probably your best place to find them, because speakers will only have speakers listed, whereas this tab has everyone. So you can search their name using the search bar, or you can use the filter features. So tags here work like ribbons at our annual conference, but the great thing about this virtual platform is actually you can search them. So for example, if you want to look for a board member, such as Dr. Aqui, you can use that tag, and then you can scroll down because they are noted alphabetically. Here we go, Dr. Aqui is here. And so as I mentioned, you can select them and click on Start Chat. I'll just do that. I will just start a chat for the sake of an example. And here we go. We've started a private message with Dr. Aqui. Okay, and so now before I leave networking, I also want to mention the exhibit hall. So not the exhibit hall, the expert lounge. So the expert lounges, you will find them in the sessions tab that I had mentioned earlier, and in their session description, they will tell you how to join the expert lounge, but I will show you exactly how to do so. And that's ultimately to firstly come here in the networking tab, then you want to click on groups. And then currently, we only have Wednesday's expert lounge topics showing. So you don't have to scroll through the other days worth of of expert lounges. You can just find Wednesdays for the first day. We will upload the following days as the conference progresses. So you can just pick a topic and then click onto them. And so this time I'm going to select the calcium supplement, and you'll see on the right-hand side, you're loaded with your settings. And you can see if your microphone is working, you'll have activities here. And if you have your webcam turned on, you'll be able to see it in the video preview. Very importantly is you want to make sure you click on this blue join meeting button. If you don't press this, you will actually not be in the expert lounge. And I do want to note that the expert lounge, there is a hard cap of 25 individuals. So I recall at the in-person conferences, we have a lot of people who show up really early. Do put that into consideration for the virtual format as well. If there's a specific topic you really want to join, be sure to come in at least 5 minutes early to save your own, to get your own spot. And in order to do so, again, is to actually click on this join meeting button. There is a chat feature here where you can type in your messages, because this lounge where we would like you to lounge with the experts. We strongly encourage that you actually come in and join by video. All right, so now to mention the gamification. So this year we have a game, and what we'll be doing is throughout this platform, there will be ways to gain gamification codes. When you see them, you can type the codes here, and then you can hit claim points in order to get the points. The prizes will go to the top 10 points earners, and the prize will be a complimentary copy of the Principles of Apheresis Technology 7th edition, which Dr. Aqui had mentioned a little earlier. It comes with a study guide. It is an excellent tool, especially for anyone who is looking to apply for the qualifications in apheresis exam. So be sure that if you don't have a copy to get these codes. If not, still enjoy the race and collect as many codes as you can. The codes are going to come in 3 ways. Firstly is we have a lot of codes in the exhibit hall, and actually our exhibitors themselves will have reserve some codes. So be sure to interact with them, and they will be able to give you a gamification code. Their codes will be worth the most. Second most, because I will actually give you a bonus code shortly, but that is the best way to get codes. The second way is, as I had shown earlier, there are also codes hidden in the posters hall. As well, we will be we will be sharing codes in other places of the platform, and we'll also be sharing codes through announcements. So stay tuned for that. And so as I mentioned, I have a bonus code for you. And so I'm going to type that out right now. So it is called walkthrough with an RU at the end. So if you hit claim, you can see that my number, you should see that my number should jump from 50 to 100. Oh, right, oh, it has disappeared. Let me try that again. There we go. So I'm clicking on gamification, and now you can see my code has jumped up. Oh, there was a bit of a lag. There we go. Okay, so to wrap up, just two more quick things to mention, and then we'll go on to questions. So firstly is the Accounts tab. So this is where you will be able to customize your profile if that's what you are looking for. So you can enter in your organization, your title, a little biography, and also to make sure you upload a profile picture of yourself so we can check it out. And then here we are. We also have a help section. So currently it is only text. It is only in text. We've got instructions for a lot of the things I have just covered. As well, this particular section of the webinar will be edited, and we will also include it at the top of this page as well. All right, and so that is everything I need to cover for the walkthrough. And so we will now take on questions. And I do see we've got some questions trickling in. All right, so the first question here is, can we watch ASFA meeting in May recording later if we registered? Okay, so I believe this individual is asking how long you have to access the content on this platform. So I believe we are still finalizing the duration, but we will be making everything available within at least for the next 3 months after the conference. So at least expect to have access until August 2021. Okay, next question here. Will meeting be available after? Oh, yeah, okay, so that is the same question. All right, so next question here is, will the breakfast with the experts be recorded and available later? I'm on the West Coast and probably won't be able to join. That is a great question. So unfortunately, the expert lounges will not be recorded because ultimately they are not presentations. They are a discussion with other attendees. So for privacy and ultimately for privacy, and because it's a discussion, we have opted not to record those. And the 3 expert lounges are dispersed in slightly different times. I do understand that on the West Coast, it will be a little bit harder. I am here on the West Coast, and so I will also be waking up a little earlier than I would be because the sessions, I believe, will start at 7 a.m. for us on the West Coast. I would also like to mention about those sessions that are live. So the sessions will take place at the scheduled time. They are recorded, and so they will be made available the following day. So they will then look like the on-demand sessions where you will be able to play and pause, and you will also have the player in order to move within the video. Next question we have is, how will we distinguish live discussions versus recorded sessions? If there are times that we cannot listen in. Oh, perhaps I had just answered that question, but I'll still show you how that is possible. So firstly, for on-demand sessions, those that will be available right when you log in, those ones will have this green tag here. And so they already have that play, pause, and the player slider. For any session that takes place at a scheduled time, so as I said, for example, these Wednesday, May 12th ones, these particular sessions, they'll play at the scheduled time. And as I mentioned, they will become like on-demand videos the following day. All right, another question here. Oh, this is more a statement that the expert lounges start at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in Eastern time. So let me just double check that. I'm going to use the filter here. And then I'm going to use expert lounges. Sorry, my computer is a little bit slow, so let me use this process instead. So actually what I wanted to show is that when you click on the sessions, you will actually, besides the title of the presentation, you will also see the time of the session that in your own time zone. So as we can see here, even through this left-hand side, I can confirm that yes, the expert lounges will actually begin at 5 a.m. Pacific time, I should say. So that would still be 7 a.m. Central time. All right, so those are all the questions I see for now. So if you have any other questions pertaining to the platform, or if you have any other questions pertaining to what Dr. Aqui covered regarding the online resources, please feel free to do so. We'll just park here for about a minute or so to see if we have any further questions. Oh, we just got a question from Betty who asks, can you talk a little about Backstage? So actually we can, only the speakers will receive the Backstage icon, attendees will not, but just so you know, especially for Betty and other speakers on this call, we will not be using the Backstage feature. We have made other arrangements in order to broadcast our live sessions. Okay, I'll park for another 30 seconds or so. If we don't receive any other questions, then we will just wrap a little bit early today. Perhaps any questions from yourself, Dr. Aqui, or anything you want to add to your earlier presentation?
No, just want to thank everyone for listening and again, encourage active participation in the organization, but also in the meeting. Take advantage of the chats. As a speaker, I will do my best to make sure I'm checking all the various different areas that people can contact me. I really like this platform because of the easy accessibility. So yeah, visit the exhibit hall, look at the posters. It should be fun. And if you attended last year's virtual meeting, which was actually really, really good, I think this one will be even better because we've had more time to prepare for it. And the platform, like I said, is more user-friendly.
Thank you for that, Dr. Aqui. So with that, then we will now wrap up the webinar. So thank you all for joining. A friendly reminder that this webinar does not offer any continuing education credits, but as I mentioned at the beginning, that this webinar is being recorded. And so there will be a number of ways for you to find this video, especially for the session that I had just gone through. You will find it in you will find the video in the help section of the platform as well. So lastly, just as Dr. Kui had mentioned a couple of times, our annual meeting is next week. So if you have not signed up, please do take advantage of it because there is a lot of great content available.